For this video review, we're going to take a look at Transformers Age of the Primes by Hasbro. This is the Prima Prime action figure. As for dimensions of the action figure, this Prima Prime figure stands around or just below the 7-inch mark, around 6.95 inches. As for size comparison and continuity of the line, so we have the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime action figure compared to the Prima Prime action figure. As for accessories, we have 3 items on board. So let's start with the Matrix of Leadership, the Star Saber handle, and the Star Saber blade. Okay, so the Star Saber handle would also house the Matrix of Leadership this way. And to assemble the whole thing, so just take note of the grooves and the orientation of the blade, especially the cutting edge, and just that simple. Okay, so as for weapons storage on the action figure, so we have this peg which could attach to several points of the figure. Okay, so we once again have the action figure on the review table and these accessories. So as I have mentioned earlier, as for weapons storage system, so you have the peg and you have pegging points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now if you wish to store the entire thing assembled, then you could just have this peg on the back this way, or if you're left-handed, that way. And if you wish for a tactical draw, then just detach the blade and you could attach it to either forearm or the ball of the shoulder. For additional features of the action figure, we have the Matrix of Leadership chamber. Okay, and you could just snap it in that way and close the chamber. And we also have articulated fingers, left and right. So in transformation, you of course would need to have this balled in a fist this way. Going back to the Star Saber, so just a little bit of hidden features. Take note of this section that holds, or you have the imprint of the mark of Prima Prime or his symbol. And if you wish to upgrade this thing, if you think that it is just way too small for the action figure, you wish to have something bigger, bulkier, more intimidating, then of course you could go back to the Transformers Prime accessories. So this is from the Beast Hunters Optimus Prime action figure, which the blade used to be green, so I just painted it with silver. Okay, so I've had this for quite some time, and this with another Optimus Prime action figure, but having this figure on board, so this thing is going to be transferred to him. Okay, so I have 2 accessories which I could interchange. So possibly I could just take off the paint on the blade section and just have the green parts exposed, or I could even go to the extent of possibly still looking for this item. This used to be readily available at Big Bad Toy Store, but currently it's already sold out. So under Doctor Wu, it's coded as the Skybreaker sword, but of course we know that it's going to be the Star Saber. Okay, so that thing is really gorgeous, amazing. I just wish that I have bought this a long time ago. Just for 15 bucks. My bad. Anyway, so going back to the review, so let's take a look at this thing and have Prima Prime wield that sword. Okay, so that looks much better. Okay. And before we go to the transformation mode or the alternate form, let us first take a look at details and articulation points. Okay, so details on the head articulation, so that is on a ball joint. So with regards to looking up, whoa, that is way so much. Okay, so left and right motion, not a problem. It's just going to be the looking down. Yeah, he looks up so much, but looking down you have to bend that waist. Anyway, okay, so going back to the articulation of the action figure, so moving towards the waistline, so you have to raise the side skirts or side protectors up, so this point articulates. So waist rotation, and because of transformation you have a little bit of articulation on the diaphragm or the abdomen. Okay, so the arms, full 360 possible. T poses also possible because the shoulder guards would move accordingly. So just move them or raise them to provide more motion for the action figure for action poses. We have rotation on the biceps, a single point of bend for the elbow, and rotation for the wrist, and we have finger articulation. Moving towards the leg, so front kicks possible, and you have to raise the side skirts for a Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay. Single bend of articulation on the knee. And we have hinge and rocker for the foot. So this action figure is hyper detailed, has a very clean back, and take a look at all of those panel lines. So if you have a Gundam marker, so get ready for some panel line action to bring a lot of the details of the figure out. Okay, so we're ready to transform this action figure. So start by having the handsets on a ball formation like that, or fists, and you rotate next this section, rotate them backwards this way, and have the other arm too backward that way. Raise and split the forearms open. Okay. Next, raise these sections inwards. I mean, fold the handsets in, not raise. So I have to correct myself grammatically. Okay, now, so from this formation, So we're ready to split this section of the body. And open it up that way. Okay. So you have that hinge, so lower it a little bit that way. So you could start rotating this section out. To provide more clearance, just raise the arms upwards that way and start rotating these sections. Okay. So having the matrix of leadership inside the chamber does not affect transformation at all. So you could have that piece inside the chest. Okay, so let's once again check orientation. Okay, side. Okay, so we just rotated this section. Okay, now we could start by moving out the front wheels, and they're going to peg into place. 1 and 2. Also take note of the connection of the head, so peg and hole. Okay, so just lower the head onto this chest section and snap it into place. Okay, so just find that peg. Okay, so you heard that, guys? So it's pegged in nicely. Okay, now we're ready to move towards the back to form the front of the truck. Okay, so get ready with these sections. So just check the orientation. So you have the front of the truck, and you have the rear end, and you have the wheels. Okay, the easiest transformation would be this section. So the most challenging parts would be up here. Okay, especially this part. Okay, so but once you already established this formation, you're already good to go. Okay, so that is on a hinge, so just work those hinges and form the side of the cab. Okay, so you have the connection point and the peg. Okay, so just connect that into place. Okay, and you could move these sections later on. Just have those parts aligned first. Okay. Oop. Okay, so it takes quite some time to have that thing really aligned up well. Okay, so we're ready to move towards that section. So once these sections are set in place, you could start moving these sections in and align them with the front of the truck. So this is going to be the front grille. You have pegs 1 and 2 and connection points. Okay, here we go. Now just squeeze those pieces into place. Go. And see if you have enough clearance. Oops. Okay, so you have first. Okay. So push them backwards a little bit so you could move the front grille. So I was wrong with the transformation part. Okay, so don't squeeze it in, but move it out a little bit, but make sure that these sections are already pegged in place. Okay, now lower this pot. Okay, so once you've already established connection, so yeah, it's ready to tap them into place. Okay, just press as hard as you can. Okay, now, so this section, you have pegs 1 and 2, and they're going to settle on this section of the cab. Okay, so once again, just align those biceps and make sure that they are still pegged into place in that sections. Okay, so check alignment, and then we're ready to collapse this section towards this cavity. Okay, so make use of that hinged area. Okay, so you have that hinge motion, so you could lower this part of the body onto that cavity to hide this part. Okay, and as you move in, just gingerly move these sides of the ball of the arm and peg them into place. Okay, that way. Okay, so you have the front part already assembled. Now it's time to move towards the back. Okay, so the legs. Okay, so start with these sections by pushing them forward. That way. To provide clearance, because you're moving out these wheels. So from their resting place at the back of the shin, so just glidely slide them out. Okay. Did I say it right? Anyway, okay, so just slide them out. Did I say gladly? Anyway, okay, so okay, now you're ready to fold the foot assembly inside this cavity. So peg and hole, peg and hole. Okay, and snap them into place. That way. Okay, now these sections. So you have peg 1, 2, connection point or hole 2. Okay, but they don't peg this way. You have to glide them in this way. Not this way, but that way. Okay. And especially when you're taking this action figure out of box, in package, after you cut the plastic ties, this leg portion is going to be joined together this way. So don't try to snap them out, or you're going to break these sections. Okay, so once again, glide them in. That way. Okay. Now, these sections. So we're going to use some hip action. So, okay, we're ready. So peg, connection point 1, 2. Once again, peg, connection points 1 and 2. Okay, so time for some hip action. just lower them or fold those thighs in that way. And take note of orientation as you glide these sections of the foot towards that cavity. Okay, there you go. And peg into place. Okay, we have 1 and 2. Okay, now for the last item, it's going to be the wheels. So just unfold and straighten them out that way. Okay, so once again, let's demonstrate from this folded position. So just straighten them out that way. Okay, so same with this section. Okay, so there you go. We have Prima Prime, or the first Prime in his alternate Cybertronian form. So all wheels would rotate. Nice rotating function. And very cool looking track mode. As for weapons storage in this alternate form, so you still have 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. Okay, and once again, this is the details of the alternate form of Prima Prime. So, if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel. And see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.